The state of Florida has banned textbooks that focus on the teaching of the Holocaust, the greatest crime in human history. Under Ron DeSantis's censorship laws, history is being corrupted and politicized, and Florida's school children are the ones being hurt. This is a sick performance theater, a grotesque kabuki. It's political strategy. It's premeditated and it's deliberate. It's based on this assessment that the greasy pole to the MAGA throne room is best reached through poisonous theatrics. That's what Ron DeSantis is betting on. He has found his way to a type of half-baked fascism by banning books, provoking attacks on the #1 entertainment company in the world and the #1 employer in his state, the Walt Disney Corporation. Everywhere that Ron DeSantis goes, he looks for a prop, somebody to dehumanize, to stigmatize, to scapegoat. It's dangerous. Anybody who understands the lessons of the 20th century knows this. This is why it's important to teach the lessons of the Holocaust. And that's why no politician, no social conservative activist has any right interfering in the curriculum and the education of the teaching of history and fact around the most momentous and deadly events in all the history of human civilization. That's what the Holocaust was. It was the greatest crime in history perpetrated against the Jewish people and millions of others in a war of aggression and genocide launched and started by Adolf Hitler and his Nazi regime in 1939. When that war was over, more than 80 million people were killed. And the lessons from that war, which was human civilization's greatest tragedy, are urgently necessary to be remembered. When the camps were liberated in early 1945, General Dwight David Eisenhower, the Supreme Commander of Allied forces, upon visiting the camp, gave 3 orders. The first was that every German civilian in a neighboring town between the ages of 15 and 80 was made to tour the camps to see the evil that was done in their name. And then they were made to bury the dead. The second thing that Eisenhower did was make sure the cameras recorded what they were eyewitnessing. He understood immediately that one day this would all be denied. And the third thing he did was urge as many members of Congress, as many American-based journalists, as many leaders of civic society to come to Germany and to witness the evil. Again, because he knew that one day it would be denied. We deluded ourselves over these last 80 years in the United States. Somehow we convinced ourselves that the liberty that is our birthright was passed to us through our bloodstream, that it's inherited like a genetic trait, as opposed to it being a fragile protectorate that must be preserved generation to generation. At the end of the day, the simple truth is this: the Nazis are back, and they're marching in Washington, D.C. They marched this weekend. This is what the Patriot Front is. These are brown shirts. The Patriot Front is part of the MAGA coalition, along with the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys. And make no mistake about it, the Patriot Front are Nazis. They say so quite clearly on their propaganda sheets. They're active in all 50 states. They're growing. They're organizing. They feel encouraged by the political climate that has mainstreamed their hate and their extremism and made it be acceptable for them to be at the political table. This is a great evil. Now, when you think about the state of Florida and the Holocaust and the censorship of books dealing with the Holocaust, it's important to remember something about the Nazi movement. It was a young person's movement in Germany. Nazi leadership was overwhelmingly young. and they burned the books on the college campuses. Kristallnacht was carried out by stormtroopers, not so different in age from the members of the Patriot Front, their descendants marching in the nation's capital 80 years later. What Ron DeSantis has found his way to is not conservatism, it's not populism, it's fascism. He seeks to use the power of the state for the sake of the state to subordinate both the individual and the free enterprise system to the whim of he, the leader. It's immoral and it's un-American. Now, what Ron DeSantis is doing in Florida will have far-reaching consequences because it will encourage other radical governors and other radical extremist boards of education to impose a similar censorship-type regime. And as always, there will be three groups targeted, the same groups targeted by the Patriot Front overwhelmingly, the same group targeted by white supremacists historically, Blacks, Jews, and gays, all of whom were discriminated against, all of whom faced repression here on American shores. Now, when books are banned and censorship is imposed and Holocaust books are censored, that's time to wake up. And everybody should. Because in this country, when you hear a politician talking about banning books, you should take them seriously. And you should understand something about them. They hate the ideas and the ideals of the United States of America, because no true American seeks to ban books, particularly those that teach the immortal lessons of the Holocaust.